welcome back to another episode of Talking Points with Preferred Health Magazine. Today's guest is Janet Zappala. She's a 6-time Emmy award-winning journalist, certified nutritional consultant, and author of My Italian Kitchen, Homestyle Recipes Made Lighter and Brighter. She'll be cooking up a wonderful meal for us today, and you can check out her interview in the summer edition of Preferred Health Magazine, out June 1st. And on to the show. Hi, Janet. Welcome to Talking Points with Preferred Health. How are you today?
I'm good, Angelina. How are you?
All right, great. I'm glad you're on the show with us. We're looking forward to cooking lighter and healthier with you today.
Yes. Are you hungry?
I am. I'm starving. Let's do this.
You've come to the right place.
So can you tell us what's on the menu?
Yes, on the menu today is my seared scallops, which I already have them prepped here with a little bit of salt and pepper in a citrus vinaigrette, because it really brightens up the taste of the scallops. And if you like scallops like I do, this just enhances the overall taste of them. It's got a little bit of honey and orange juice. I'm going to show you how to make the dressing in a second. And then all we do is we sear them right up, 2 to 3 minutes on each side, and you've got a great light, healthy meal. You know, shellfish is pretty good for us. It's got, especially scallops, they're a great source of lean protein for us. So I like to get a lot of protein in my diet every single day. And of course, healthy fats, which we're going to be talking about shortly here. I'm also making side because I never make a meal without greens. I think having greens every single day is super important for our overall health. So I'm making spinach, which is one of the most nutrient dense veggies that we can eat every single day. It's chock full of calcium, lutein for our eyes, has some calcium, I mentioned, some iron, a little bit of dietary fiber. It's good for the bones. It's got some vitamin K, which is also good for proper blood clotting. So spinach, in addition to the fact that it tastes great, it's great for our health, which is so important, right?
Absolutely. It sounds like it's one of the superfoods. And now summer is around the corner, you know, so a light fish dish sounds absolutely amazing. Yeah. And, you know, I was reading your book, going through your book, and I grew up Italian. So let me say that finding, you know, when I look back and I think of my childhood, finding a light, you know, Italian meal was pretty hard to you know, imagine. So I want to quickly just say, what inspired your book and why did you feel that you needed to make that change to those, you know, homemade dishes?
Well, first of all, I do, because I never go anywhere without my handy dandy, My Italian Kitchen, Homestyle Recipes Made Lighter and Healthier. This actually is my sister, the brunette. Since I wrote that book 10, 11 years ago. What inspired me was my mom, very Italian, who loved to cook, and everybody loved Mary and her cooking. So we'd have people over all the time because she was all about, here's where the magic happens in the kitchen. It's all about love and bringing friends and family together and making those all important memories with really healthy food. And she did concentrate on making veggies all the time and good healthy meals. But of course, and my mom was a master cook and she loved to cook. She thrived on that. And the most important thing was bringing the friends and the family together in the kitchen to make those great memories, right? And whenever Mary was cooking, people, I think, would smell it from miles away. And all of a sudden, we'd have a ton of people in the kitchen. And they said, what's Mary cooking today?
The best place in the house.
Pardon me?
The best place in the house.
That's right. The most exciting, most delicious place in the house. So the interesting thing about my mom was she was not a professionally trained chef, but she started cooking for her entire family when she was 9 years old. Oh, so she learned the ropes at a very young age. And luckily, she loved to cook. So that's who inspired me. And when she passed a few years ago, I wanted to do something in her memory. So I wrote this book in memory of her, dedicated to my wonderful mom. And so because the Italian recipes are a little bit heavier, I wanted, as a certified nutritional coach, to just, you know, tweak it a little bit, tweak most of the recipes so they are just a little bit lighter and healthier without sacrificing taste, because that's so important. You know, we can make healthy meals all day long, but if they don't taste good, people don't eat them. And if they don't eat them, well, they're obviously not so healthy. So we want to make sure that they're good for us and they really excite the palate. And I think we've done that here.
All right, well, let's get started. What do we have today? What are we starting out with today?
We're going to start out with the dressing. Again, it's a citrus vinaigrette. We've got, we're going to make this for two. So we've got 4 scallops apiece. I'm going to have about a tablespoon of white wine vinegar. I've got some orange juice, about a tablespoon of that. Oh, some honey. We know that honey is good for us. It's got a lot of medicinal benefits, right? Like assisting us if we get a sore throat. Orange juice, great for our immune system with the vitamin C. Then we've got, just to give it a little bit of a kick, we've got some Dijon mustard here.
Oh, I love it. That is just, I feel like it's highly underrated, Dijon mustard, for some reason.
Oh, it adds such great taste to so many dishes, right?
Yes.
And so what we're going to do here is we're going to just whisk these ingredients first together. And you can see how it all comes together very quickly. And then we're going to add our honey and our olive oil. We already added the honey. Hang on a second here. In fact, I wanted to get a little more. We didn't get it all done. So I want to make every last drop count with our honey. So now we've got everything in. Now we're going to drizzle in about a tablespoon or so of extra virgin olive oil. And that's truly where our healthy fats come into play. Because as we know, we need healthy fats in our diets every day. And extra virgin olive oil is an excellent source of monounsaturated fat, which again is so important for our overall health. It's got some omega-3s, it's got polyphenols in it, which really helps keep our arteries clear so that our blood flows great, right? Kind of keeps us from getting any kind of issues with blood clotting. It's so great. I mean, it's just an immune booster and it tastes terrific. I call it nature's liquid gold, and I use it every single day.
Absolutely. I love olive oil. So, that dressing that you're making just right there and then, I feel like I can put that on anything. What do you have?
Well, it depends. You could put it on probably maybe
Chicken.
Some meat, other sources of fish maybe. And then we're going to add our mandarin oranges at the end. We're not going to put them in just yet. And we also have, I minced up some shallots, which I love. They're a little bit on the sweeter side, so I love those, and some chopped up cilantro. So we're going to put all of this in now and whisk her all up. As I say, we'll put the mandarin oranges in at the end, but you can see, isn't that beautiful? I just love the colors. Yes. And
So good.
And it smells so good.
We need some television.
I was going to say, you incorporate it yet into your show, or are you still working?
We're in the works.
All right, so we'll set this aside. And as I mentioned, I've already prepped my scallops. These are sea scallops. So they're a nice size, not too big, not too small. They're super sweet and buttery and light. Now, the important thing, there's a trick here. In order to sear them, you have to make sure that you rinse them off first and then dry them with a paper towel. Make sure they're really dry, because otherwise they'll steam and not sear. And you want a nice golden brown on both sides. You don't want to overcook scallops because they become chewy or rubbery. So it's usually about 2 to 3 minutes on each side over medium heat with a little bit of olive oil. Not much, just a little bit. You put too much oil, they won't sear. And the other trick is, if you're making a lot of scallops at one time, make sure they've got space between them. If they're on top of each other, again, they won't sear, they'll steam. And for this recipe, you want them to sear. Take our handy dandy frying pan here. As I said, I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil just to coat the bottom. Just a little bit of olive oil. Okay, and let that heat up for about a minute or so. You want it to just start getting a little bit shiny, you know how it gets, and then you'll know it's ready. And it's usually about a minute or so. And of course, I've got my garlic, but this is for the spinach, and I'll talk about my superfood in a moment here. This is for, which again, I love to make, not only because it's great for us and tastes terrific, but it's a quick making vegetable. So this dish overall could take you, after the prep, about 10 minutes to make. And the prep, no big deal. You just chop everything up and you're done. And it's just easy peasy. And people want quick, easy, delicious, nutritious meals on a weeknight, right? You don't want to have to worry about the weekend. You know, I'm too tired to cook up during the week. I'll just get something on the way home. that's not always the way to go, because, you know, when you cook, you know what you're putting in your meals. You know that you're using certified organic, which is so important, especially for certain foods, because, you know, here in the US, we pesticide, we overspray a lot of our food. So if you're ever eating things like apples or things like that, where you're going to eat the outer peel, like apples, cherries, nectarines, peaches, you want to make sure you get those organic. With bananas, I don't eat the peel. I don't know if you do, but I don't eat
Do people do?
I don't really get organic with things that I peel, but anything where I'm eating the whole thing, it's always organic. And a little tip here, if you go onto the Environmental Working Group's website, I believe it's ewg.org, they will give you the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen, which will tell you the most highly sprayed fruits and vegetables and the ones that are not so highly sprayed.
Wow, very good to know. Excellent.
Yeah, nice little guide. Okay, I think our olive oil is hot. Our delicious scallops. So hear that? Oh, I love it, because you know they're going to sear here in no time.
Okay.
And I always time it and keep an eye. Make sure that our gas isn't up too high. Again, over medium heat should do it. And just kind of let them rip for a little bit. And I can already smell them. It doesn't take long. But very gentle with scallops when you're turning them, because they're very fragile and they kind of break up. So, and they're pretty shellfish, right? So you want to keep them intact until, of course, mealtime.
What'd you say, a minute on each side? How long on each side?
Usually about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. You want a nice sear on both sides, usually a golden brown, and you want to cook them, but not overcook them, right? So there's a little bit of a tough spot there where if you undercook, it's not healthy. You've got to be careful. If you overcook, again, they become chewy and rubbery, and you don't want that either. So there's that real sweet spot, and you want to keep an eye on them. It's not the kind of meal that you can just walk away from. You kind of have to watch.
Okay.
So they've been on for about a minute or so. We're going to let them go. I don't want to turn them just yet, because again, they may break up a little bit, and I want that sear on there, because when we make food and we prepare it and then we present it, it's all about people eating with their eyes first. So you want to make sure that the scallops are intact, that they've got that nice golden brown crust, and that people are going to say, oh my goodness, that looks delicious. I need to dig in right now, as opposed to saying, what did you put on that plate?
That's right. Well, let me ask you, while we're waiting, is there any certain wine that you would suggest to go with this meal?
Oh, a nice white. I love a Sauvignon Blanc, but I think a Pinot Grigio is nice. It's a little heavier than a Sauvignon Blanc, or maybe just a Chardonnay. I like Chardonnay for the spring and summer is great with this, especially with the citrus in the dressing. I think it works really nice. But you know, it really, to me with wine, it's really a personal taste. So it's what you really enjoy. But with the scallops in this particular dish, I think a nice light white wine is delicious, and more on the dry side.
Okay, this looks like a fun girls' night kind of meal, and I'm thinking that might be something coming up this summer.
That's right. This is perfect because it's quick, it's easy, it's delicious, and it's just really good for us. So if you're looking for something healthy and nutritious, delicious and fun to make and easy to eat, this is it. And you see the sear, the nice golden brown. Can you see that?
Beautiful. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, why am I not there with you?
You're invited anytime.
That sounds great.
The more people in the kitchen, the better. I love it. So that's about, I'd say about 2.5 minutes, right?
Okay.
So we'll go for another couple of minutes on this side. And in the meantime, while that's cooking, I'm going to add my mandarin oranges in my dressing now. And we'll put that in there. Get everything ready to go. You don't have to whisk it, just kind of gently mix them, combine. And it really complements the flavor of the scallops. Let's see here. Ooh, we're just about there. And while that's cooking for another few seconds, I'm going to start getting my spinach ready. Because you want it nice and hot. Now, what I'm going to do first is cook it down, and you can cook it down with a little bit of water. I like to use some organic chicken broth or vegetable broth, just for extra flavor. So we'll put that in, let that warm up real quickly while the scallops are finishing up. Oh, oh yeah. And you can see on the sides as well that they're cooked. You don't see that pink hue. If you do, you let it cook just a little bit longer, but that's a good tester where you can see that little bit of hue on the side. And if I can grab this one, maybe you can see. I don't know if you can. Can you see the hue right there? It's a little pink still.
Okay, okay.
All right, so just a little bit longer on that one, and then they're ready.
Easy breezy. I love this.
Yes, now I'm going to throw in this is organic spinach. And I always like to make extra, it looks like a ton of spinach, right? But anybody who's cooked spinach knows it really cooks down, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like nothing. So we're going to make a whole package of spinach there. And I'm going to get my scallops off the heat because they're ready. And we'll plate them. My spinach is cooking down. Can you see this all right, Angelina?
I do. I just don't see your plate. We might have to move the plate so we can transfer.
I will show you that in 1 second. Let me just plate these. So we'll make 4. This is again for 2 people. So we've got 4 there. Angelina, you need to be here. I've got 8 scallops and I can eat them all. I mean, what am I going to do here with 8 scallops?
I wish I was there.
You know, we don't want anything to go to waste. I may have to force myself. Darn, such a terrible job. All right, let's just get a serving spoon here. And we're going to, well, this is the best part because once you put this, I just love to take the scallops by themselves, but then you put this with the mandarin oranges, the sweetness from the mandarin oranges is just delectable. And there you go. You can even drizzle a little on the side. And now we've got our spinach just about ready to cook down here.
How are we preparing that spinach again? What do we have garlic in there? And
now what we're going to do is I just put a little bit of broth. Glad you asked about the garlic because you know what we're going to do here? We're going to cook down a little bit of garlic. I'm going to saute a little bit of garlic in some olive oil. Okay. And then we're going to add that to the spinach. So we've got a little bit of nice golden crispy. You don't want to overcook garlic because it gets really, really sour, you know, and it doesn't taste good. But you can cook it just where it's golden brown and a little bit of crisp. It's delicious in this spinach. So that's what I'm doing with that. I've already minced some up here, as you can see. Now, the thing I love about garlic is it makes everything taste better, right? Okay. Not only that, it is a super food. It really is, I think, the cornerstone to a heart-healthy Mediterranean diet. Okay. It's just got so many great health attributes. It's an antifungal, antibacterial. It helps keep your cholesterol in check. Some say it even wards off certain types of cancers, but more studies have to be done. However, that said, it's good for just about anything it ails you. One thing that I think coming up with the summer, you want to keep in mind, it's also an excellent mosquito repellent.
Oh.
Yeah, so more garlic you eat, those mosquitoes are going to say, no, I don't think I'm biting that person. In addition, it's also a good people repellent. You know, just, I mean, it comes in handy for a myriad of things. So I'm going to saute this up. Again, I just minced up a whole bunch of garlic. It's a very individualized preference. I like a lot of it. So I minced up, I think, about 6 cloves. If you like less, just go with less. Again, with
going with more. More is more.
I think more is more. That's great. So you see you don't want to overcook spinach either. You want to keep it tender and bright green. If you overcook, you know, you start cooking out some of the nutrients. So You really have to watch that. And look at that, nice bright green, and it cooked down beautifully. It soaked up all of that broth, so it's got a nice flavor to it. And there's your garlic, all golden brown and ready to go. So we're just gonna put this right in here, like this. You see how quick that was? I mean, it just doesn't get any easier or quicker. And then, of course, a little bit of salt, not too much. We want to salt lightly because, you know, Americans always eat way too much salt. We have to shake the salt habit. We have to watch it. We all need some salt in our diet. And for the thyroid, you want to make sure that you're eating iodized because that's really good for your thyroid. I know from.
That's right.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your spinach. I just put it right on the same dish. And there you have, I'm going to show you here in 1 second. There you have one delicious, nutritious meal that anybody would want to dig in and enjoy. So why not? There you go. Can you see that?
Wonderful. How beautiful.
See that?
What a gorgeous, bright. I can't, I just want to take a fork through my camera.
Oh, how see, you can cut it with a fork. It's so tender and it's not rubbery.
How's the taste?
I have to tell you, Angelina, this is one of my favorites. It's just, I know I'm putting really good nutrients in my body. I know I'm taking care of myself. You know, our bodies are the only place we have to live. It's really important that what we put into our bodies really nourishes us, that we have to be mindful of what we're putting into our bodies. And oftentimes we're not because we're in a rush, we're busy, we're multitasking. But if we don't take care of ourselves, then how are we going to take care of anything else in the long run? People are living longer, and oftentimes they don't have a good quality of life because they hadn't taken care of themselves early on. It's never too late to start. I want to add that. Even if you've been eating a lot of, you know, junk food over the years and not taking care of yourself, start today. Start thinking about taking care of the body that will take care of you for years to come.
Absolutely.
And then you're doing
100%.
like this, and then you've got your spinach. Hang on a sec.
Fabulous.
So with spinach, to me, it's all about the garlic.
And you're Italian also, so it's always about the garlic, as far as
That's right, and the olive oil. But again, these are really healthy nutrients that we need to put into our body every single day. You know, heart healthy omega-3s with the monounsaturated fats for the brain, for the heart. All of that does something good for our health, and it makes us feel good. And you know, it's that Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine and let medicine be thy food. Very true. And I add to that by saying, let food be thy medicine and also let food be thy beauty. Because if you're eating well, it shows on the outside as well. Your skin will be clearer. It'll be glowing. You'll feel better. You'll have more energy. Your hair will be thicker and shinier. It's, you know, it's just the whole package that we take care of ourselves so that we feel good and we can take care of others as well.
I appreciate you so much for cooking this lovely meal, which we're going to share with our viewers, and everybody's going to go ahead and try this at home. Those ingredients, which is nice, it seems to be fairly basic. We can find those anywhere and maybe even have them in our homes as we speak, right?
I would say I always have greens in my house. You can make any green with this dish. Asparagus would be nice. Maybe some kale, anything you enjoy, just put it on the plate as long as it's healthy for you. In addition, I wanted to mention that these mandarin oranges, I used a canned mandarin orange for this recipe, but you can use the cuties, the fresh mandarin oranges just as easy. But I like these because they're a little bit moister and really sweet, and they just add so much to this dish. So the canned mandarin oranges, I think, work great for this.
Wonderful. Now, Janet, you are also the host of Your Health Matters and Good Food Matters, correct?
That's right. I did Your Health Matters for TV for several years. Now I've got Good Food Matters on the DB&A television network, which you can get online. And then we're also on Roku and Amazon. And I think now, in the next couple of weeks, they're telling me we're going to be on a lot of cable stations all over the world. if you can believe that.
Wonderful.
So that would really be nice. But right now, people, if they just Google DB&A Television Network, it'll pop up and you can find my show there. And there are many, many great shows, entertainment shows, sports programs. Gadget Queen has all kinds of gadgets for the quick kitchen. She's fabulous. A lot more chefs and just fun people. We've got people doing all kinds of shows.
We're looking forward to having you also in Preferred Health Magazine.
I'm so looking forward to that. When is that happening?
That's happening in June. It's coming out for a summer edition. Now, aside from your beautiful and wonderful cookbook, I mean, this is your first children's book. We'll be speaking and reviewing Guapo's Big Heart. Is that right?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I've got my new children's book just dropped in February, and it's doing really well. I have to knock on wood. I'm so excited. The most important thing for me is, and the reason why I was motivated to write it, it's all about teaching children especially, but adults can be reminded of being kind and accepting, about diversity, the importance of, about friendship and love, all of those great qualities that everybody should be instilling in our children so they can then teach their children, and on and on and on. That's why I wanted to write the book. In addition to that, it's all about animal rescue as well. So part of the proceeds go to the Coachella Valley Horse Rescue, which is in the Palm Springs, California area. They bring these horses in who've been abused or couldn't be cared for by their owners any longer, or who, believe it or not, were on their way to the meat market.
Right.
So they bring these horses in, they rehab them, they take care of them and treat them with love and kindness and find loving homes for them. So it's just all good.
What great work you're doing. I love it. I can't wait to share all of this with our audience and our readers. Thank you so much for coming on today and speaking with me for Talking Points.
Thank you, Angelina. I so appreciate it. Stay healthy.
You too.
And that concludes another episode of Talking Points with Preferred Health Magazine. Thank you to Janet Zappala for coming on today and cooking us that lovely meal. Check out her book, Guapo's Giant Heart and My Italian Kitchen, available wherever books are sold, and her interview with Preferred Health Magazine coming out in the summer edition, June 1st. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, Patient Preferred Physicians and the Preferred Professionals Network for all your professional needs, as well as Surfside Realty in Boca Raton, Florida. Please check them out if you're looking for your forever home.